Welcome in. Before we start this one, we want to be clear. We do not care who you voted for. It is your right to vote. You vote from your heart. But when you vote, there will be consequences due to the policies the person you voted for enacts. And that's what this is about. Canadians spent a lot of money in our valley during the season. Well, at least they used to. Now Canadians feel frustration and disappointment when America talks about making them the 51st state and imposes a 25% tariff on Canadian goods. How are they showing this disappointment and frustration? Many who visit the valley every winter, sometime for a 6-month period, are reconsidering or even canceling their plans. Some are considering selling their properties in America. Some have just decided to visit a different country altogether. Less traffic, you may be thinking. Also means a lot less tourist dollars in cities' pockets. Contributors tonight, Nick Collins and Chauncey Thompson. Okay, Chauncey, how do you think this will affect the valley?
I don't think we'll see much of a change for right now. I think we'll see the change come September, October. I think a lot of the short-term rental companies will start to feel the effects probably in August when most of these leases begin to happen. We will see the impacts monetarily, you know, the hotels, the restaurants, probably November, December of next year or later this year.
Nick, you work in real estate. Do you think it'll have an effect?
You know what? I've been talking to the Canadians on the street, and these Canucks are cracking. Tensions are high. The buzzword is tariffs. So they are reacting. But really, the core, I think it is, we're not really looking at, is the Canadian dollar has been getting killed for a while. And so now they don't feel as rich when they come. This is just another taxation they're looking at. And now they're getting stressed out and can't handle it because they don't have purchase power.
Is there anything we can do as a community to hold on to our friends from Canada, Nick?
We did, Fred. We brought in a hockey team in the desert. What more can we do to bring the Canadians in? At this point, I don't think we need to go fishing for more people. They're still going to come. The high net worth individuals are going to come anyway because this isn't affecting them as much. And they love coming here because they don't want to be ice skating 6 months out of the year.
Chauncey, do you agree with that?
I agree with Nick. I think it's so cold up there from what I understand. So they will almost do anything to get away from that coldness to warm up a little bit. So I think what Nick said, we'll see some of the top higher earners come down. We may see some of the folks that are kind of pinching pennies stay home.
All right, the new director of the animal shelter will fire things up and get started soon. I've said you can't be critical of her because she has to be given a chance, and I mean that. Of course, you can be critical of the people that hired her and the decisions they made. And one of them to hire consultant Kristen Hassan. We told you her plan to reduce intake, but let's call it what it is. The kill rate at the shelter is to leave animals on the street to fend for themselves. You're more than welcome to take one home if you see them on the streets, but do not bring them to the shelter. Here's the flyer from the animal shelter. Here's the gist. Cats are much happier if you leave them where they are. Just leave them on the street and they'll figure it out. Looking at it, it makes it look like it's the nicest thing you can do. You can also trap them, neuter them, spay them, return them to where you found them. Of course, it also means fewer animals at the shelter. Fewer animals they have to kill. The costs are less to operate the place. Nick, what do you think of the trap, neuter, return program?
You know, it's so hard to say because I love animals. My wife works in the industry, so we love our animals. But the cats are so many. You know, I almost think like squirrels or even, you know, ants. If there's that many, can the shelter really handle it? I'm thinking they're at a break point where they can't bring them in, and that's why they have this.
Okay. So, Chauncey, we pay our taxes. They go, part of them, to the shelter to take care of abandoned and stray pets. If they just want us to leave them on the streets, what are we paying them for?
And that is a great point. And I don't know what we're paying them for if they're leaving them on the streets, because like other rodents we've seen, they will multiply if not handled. So we've got to figure this out. Our taxpayer dollars are going to waste. I don't know who approved this plan, but it's absurd.
Okay, so Nick, we are paying these people at the shelter. We are paying the county. Should we stop paying them if there's something going to leave the cats on the street?
No, I don't think that at all. You know, We've talked about this at length, how Palm Springs has done such a fabulous job with their program. We just need to implement a system that helps more animals, and we need to know kind of what the capacity is, because when we hit the threshold, it's like, yeah, we can't take any more animals. Now the community's got to pitch in, but the tax dollars are still working up to that point.
Is there any possibility, given everything we have done on this, and we'll find out about the first lawsuit that was filed soon, consultant Kristen Hassan, who really has this plan to just let them fend for themselves, it reduces intake and downs the kill rate, and it costs less, and everything's operating more economically. Does she have it right, and does the public have it all wrong, Chauncey?
No, and we've heard from prior cities, some of the constituents and citizens of some of those cities in Arizona. She doesn't have it right. This is a unique situation, and there's no right solution, but I'll tell you, this one is not.
Nick, would you agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, look, what are we going to do? We're going to adopt all these animals? Chauncey, you take 3, I'll take 4. That's 7. And if Fred takes 5, that's enough. We're up to 12. We can save some animals by being the community heroes. In the end, though, no one wants to deal with it. The county, the city, they have to be able to take it all and clear it out so they're not in the streets.
All right. Okay, I need to ask you something, neighbor to neighbor. I'm trying to come up with a new nickname. Now, we're open to suggestions. One person has come up with 2 of them. A gentleman by the name of Jesus Gonzalez has actually come up with 2 possible nicknames for me. Here's the first.
Have a racist reporter guy. Have a racist reporter guy. Have a racist reporter guy. Have a racist.
Okay, that was one. Jesus also came up with another suggestion for me.
That guy, Rotten Rogan, Rotten Rogan, Rotten Rogan, Rotten Rogan, Rotten Rogan, Rotten Rogan.
Okay, here's the third selection.
What I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT! The GOAT! The GOAT!
There you have 3 choices. And if you have something besides racist reporter, Rotten Rogan, or the GOAT, email the show. So here they are again. Contributed by Jesus Hernandez, our first 2. Racist reporter guy, that guy Rotten Rogan, the GOAT, and then you decide.